Diba? So, at saka yung may orders kasi si Torre, di ba, na huwag tumanggap ng tubig at pagkain sa KOJC. And kanina I was interrupted with my story about Torre. Yung sinabi ko sa kanya na wala kang ginawang legal at moral mula't simula, 'di ba? Nagtanong siya, like what? Sabi niya ganon. Wala kang search warrant, sabi ko sa kanya. Tapos sabi niya, ano ba? Tatandaan na natin. Hindi importante 'yun. Parang wala 'yun, parang ganon. Imagine, itong isang dokumento na ipinapakita yung mga karapatan natin na hindi pwedeng salingin ang bahay mo, ang pamamahay mo, because your home is your sacred ground, 'di ba? Kahit na mahirap kang tao, hindi pwedeng pasok-pasukin lang yung bahay mo na ganyan-ganyan lang, 'di ba? Pero kung sinasabi nitong pulis na ito, pulis yan law enforcer yan, hindi importante yung dokumentong yan. Therefore, hindi importante yung karapatan yan. Wala akong pakialam sa karapatan na yan. Nagugulat ba tayo? Hindi. Di ba? Kasi yan yan yung kababuyan na ginagawa ni Bongbong Marcos at ni Torre. Ganyan na ganyan. Eksakto talaga sila. Banang-mana sila. Talagang love team sila nitong Torre na to. Bagay na bagay sila. Isa pa yan si Marbil. Naku, isa pa yan. No, so, nagtataka kasi kami kaninang umaga. Bakit may DSWD? I was worried kasi I was worried kasi baka kunin nga yung mga bata. Yung pala meron silang teleserye na gagawin, di ba?
And Doc, I have to go back to your statement kanina, no? This is actually telegraphing to other police officials na pwede mo itong gawin. Kasi ginawa nga nila to a powerful and wealthy pastor na wala naman talagang krimen kundi ang pagiging supporter ng mga Duterte. How much more tayong ordinaryong mga individual? So ito is giving those corrupt police officials a blanket authority to do what they are doing now to KOJC. So kayong mga nandyan, mga kababayan ko, na kibit balikat lang because sabi ninyo siguro sa inyong sarili, hindi mangyayari sa akin lang, sa akin yan, dyan lang. No, you do not expect na hindi mangyayari sa inyo yan because all of us now, because of what's happening at KOJC, are now under this threat of oppressive behavior from our police. I'm sure in the next few days there will be a similar incident like this na mangyayari, and soon it will be in the news, and I hope ito yung hindi kayo yan, yung mga nagkibit balikat man lang at tinawanan ang nangyayari dito sa KOJC ngayon.
Yeah, and God help you, because if you don't have the legal team that Pastor has, right, if you don't have the resources that Pastor has, kawawa ka, kainin kayo ng buhay. Siya nga, meron nga siyang legal team, ang gagaling ng mga lawyers niya. Kinakain sila ng buhay, no? So, ano ang chance ninyo? Anong chance nating lahat dito? Di ba? So, yun ang pinaglalaban natin. Hindi ko pinaglalaban dito mga Duterte. Hindi. Kaya nilang lumaban sa sarili nila. Tsaka yun talaga yung relasyon namin ng mga Duterte, no? At talagang buntot mo, hila mo, 'di ba? Tapos kung so walang hindi yan ang pinaglalaban ko. Hindi ko pinaglalaban na maging vice president, maging president si Sara Duterte. Hindi. Kung gusto ng taong bayan, 'di ba, buti, 'di ba? At nang mapalitan na itong walang kaalam-alam. Ang ipinaglalaban ko dito, nating lahat dito, yung civil liberties, yung karapatan natin. The other day, may kikwento ako I hope you bear with me. Nagninang ako sa isang kasal sa Davao. This is si Carlo, tsaka si Anthony. Napakagandang kasal, no? And it was with family and friends, and it was so beautiful na for a moment I forgot all of this, no? And beautiful in Davao. And then I realized this is what you're fighting for. No, this is what you're fighting for, that people can enjoy their family, their friends without any worries. They can see all this beautiful Davao with the beach in front and enjoy the good food na walang nagte-threaten sa kanila. But you think tingin nyo pag pinabayaan natin ito, pag pinalusot natin ito, tingin ninyo hindi lalaki ito, hindi tayo nagpapalaki ng mga ahas at mga halimaw, at tingin nyo makaka-enjoy kayo ng buhay ninyo. Hindi. Hahabol ito, sandali na lang. At hindi lang yon. Sa akin yung mas masakit dito, mga anak natin at mga apo natin, yan ang mangyayari kapag hindi natin sinipa ito mga abusadong ito. Pag hindi tayo tumindig dito, kasama ng SMNI, ng KOJC, kawawa tayo. Kasi sila, tinan mo naman, no, napaka-united nila. No? Meron silang resources. Eh, ikaw, meron kang ganyan?
Tapos, diba? Doc, itong nakipag-alyansa ngayon ng mga Marcos, do not expect that they will not run after you after the Dutertes. If they bring down the Dutertes, no, the next line, the next target will be you. Itong Makabayad Bloc, itong mga communist fronts, no, itong mga kakompetensya nila sa kanilang mga negosyo, itong kakompetensya ng mga kaalyado nila sa politika, and we're seeing it now. In fact, and I will be making some posts next week about the politics in Cebu now, na nag-aawayan na. I call it the crocodiles versus the crocodiles. Yung mga kaalyado ni Marcos Jr. dito, Doc, talagang nag-aawayan na sila. Kung sino ang who will take the bigger pie of Cebu politics.
And this is again another symptom of a weak leader, that he cannot unite the people.
Right.
Look at what's happened to us, no? Talagang ever since he sat in office, division. Because pag-upo pa lang, no, wala namang plano magsilbi. Politika agad ang inatupag ng mga lintik na yan, mga tinamaan ng lintik ng kakapal na mga muka. Umupo ka dyan para magsilbi sa Pilipino. Diba? Pero hindi pala. Umupo ka pala dyan para tumagal ka, at lahat ng mga tumulong sa'yo, binaboy mo. Diba? So, character is destiny. I believe that, no? And it tells me a lot. If people who helped you, kaya mong babuyin. Yan ang character mo. Right. And if kaya mo lang maging mabait sa isang tao, katulad ni President Duterte, kapag ka-president siya. Pero kapag hindi na siya president, bababuyin mo siya. Man, that tells me a lot about you. And character is destiny. And I'm sorry to tell the Filipino people, our destiny is married with a man like that. Ganyan ang character. I'm not even talking about the worst parts that I've seen about him. The worst, of course, of which is that he could be a cocaine addict. Wala ka mapapalang mabuti dyan, no? And this is what's going to, walang mangyayaring maganda sa Pilipinas, no? So, yan yung nangyari, no? So,
well, unless the Filipinos would step up, no? And really stand up and speak out. And talagang sisipain na talaga itong bangag na presidenteng to, no?
Alam mo, Elmer, Jade, Ina, mga kababayan, no? Noong na-detain ako, kami ni Eric, no? Ang strange nung feeling, it felt so peaceful. The most peaceful that I'd ever been in a long time. Sobrang peaceful. Tapos alam ko na kung bakit. Naisip ko, kasi honestly, nasabi ko sa sarili ko, nagawa mo na yung best mo para sa bansa, di ba? Talagang, in my heart of hearts, I knew, di ba, that I had done my best. At saka yung serenity prayer, God grant me the courage to change the things I can. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I really felt in my heart of hearts that I had stepped up with my courage to do whatever I could, but I could change. And now, it was up to the Filipino people. It was up to them. Nakita nyo yung pambababoy ni Acop, ni Paduano, ni Dan Fernandez, ni JJ Suarez, di ba? Nakita nyo, ni Benny Abante, di ba? Ni Ace Barbers, Stella Kimbo, nakita nilang lahat yon, di ba? Yung pambababoy at yung panggigipit, yung legislative overreach, sumampas talaga. Ngayon, sabi ko sa sarili ko, kung wala silang gagawin, wala ka naman magagawa doon, di ba? And we really deserve the government that we're gonna get. But if they up, then good, diba? And they did. They stepped up, diba? So I'm very proud of the Filipino people. No? So I have great faith in us.
Yeah. And I still have a glimmer of hope now.
Yeah. Yeah. And even lahat ito na nangyayari, no? Mga kababayan, Elmer, Ina, and Jade, no? Parang chaos yan. Hindi ka naman pwedeng mag-create without magulo. Kailangan you have to first destroy things before you can rebuild, diba? So, I think this is what's happening, what we're seeing right now. Look at the PNP. If that is not utter destruction, I don't know what is, diba? Talagang walang... And Congress, oh my God. Oh my God. Diyan ako walang pag-asa. Walang pag-asa yan.
Walang pag-asa. Walang pag-asa yan.
Failed institution yan, no?
Wala na yan. Wala na yan.
No? At saka, Elmer, yung kongreso na ganyan, kongreso ni Marcos yan, di ba? At ni Martin Romualdez na Diyos ko Lord, di ba?
And, you know, it's not even mentioned, no? In mainstream media, yung kaso nga niya doon sa Chancery Court of Delaware, yung panghihimasok niya doon sa Okada dispute, na allegedly there was bribery involved, no? Between him and some justice.
Elmer, it's not allegedly. It's already been proven.
It's already in the decision. Yes.
Yeah, in the decision already that the Speaker of the House of the Philippines, Martin Romualdez, indeed committed bribery, no? And yet, of course, the amuyongs in Congress, the immoral congressmen in Congress will not do anything about it, di ba? Because they're suck-ups, they're lapdogs of Martin Romualdez. And for what? For money. So this is what has happened to the Philippines. Right. Because the one that sits in Malacanang is a very weak leader and a moral degenerate, no? Yan ang nangyari sa...
And this is a double conjugal dictatorship, no? Because the one running in the executive are the husband and wife, Marcos Jr. and Liza Araneta. The one running the House of Representatives is also husband and wife. The Speaker of the House, no, ang kanyang asawa happens to be the chairwoman of the Committee on Accounts, who handles the 28-something like budget of the entire House of Representatives. So ganyan sila kaya subservient talaga sa mag-asawang Yeda at Martin yung lahat ng mga kongresista.
You know, wala talagang capacity for shame.
Wala.
There is no delikatesa. Kasi I remember nung si PRRD, nung umupo siya na president, may mga moves na gawing Speaker of the House si Congressman Pulong.
Yes.
And then President Duterte said, gawin niyo yan, I'm going to resign. Yun ang tama. So parang it's interesting to me kasi parang nagsiswing talaga, no? Nagsiswing talaga ang pendulum.
Opposite spectrums, no? Opposite spectrums.
Yeah. Polarity talaga, diba? So ganun talaga pinaka-opposite, di ba? A president who hated drugs so much and here's someone who loves it. My gosh. And he keeps on, lagi pa siya nagmamalaki na bloodless daw yung drug war niya, etc. Right. As if meron siya.
Bloodless yung drug war, pero yung pag-serve ng warrant of arrest to a pastor and 4 others, hey, bloody. And overkill na nga, no? So talagang the disconnect, no, and the detachment of this ungrounded president.
Curious, Elmer, ang curious ako. Anong tingin mo dito kay La Torre, kay Abalos, kay Bongbong Marcos sa Amerika? Tingin nila nandiyan talaga si Pastor? Anong tingin mo?
Well, I think it's failure of intelligence, no? I think there are some people operating, no, below Torre who are sure of themselves na nandyan si Pastor, no? Regardless kung talagang totoo yung information na hawak nila. Ito namang si Torre, at si Marbil, because of their fumble of the Alice Go case, na natatakasan sila, are aiming to redeem themselves, no, to the Filipino people and the admin as well, and the Americans to a certain degree. Talagang pinupwersa nila ang kanilang belief. You know yung kasabihan na Doc, no, na you lie so much that you already believe it yourself. That you no longer consider, you know that it's a lie, but because you think about it, na talagang totoo yan, you tend to believe it yourself na. This is a classic case of that
kasi Elmer, sabi ni Torre nung kausap ko siya. Sabi niya, pa-surrender mo na si Pastor. Ganun, paulit-ulit siya. Paulit-ulit yun yung sinasabi niya. So na-figure out ko, ay useless talaga to talk to this person. Talagang kahit na nag-Senate hearing na siya, narinig na niya yung amazing legal team ng KOJC about that surrender. He's a one-act pony. So I also think he's a little bit medyo mahina also, no? So
mahina.
Mahina talaga sila. And do you know what mga kababayan, no? It's interesting kasi may isang political analyst siya, tsaka journalist din siya, si Hannah Arendt, no? Doon sa Eichmann trials. Tapos ang sinabi niya, yung Eichmann trials, yan yung ni Hitler. Siya yung architect din siya nung pagpatay ng 6 million Jews. So naka-trial siya. So nung time na yon, tinanong siya, no? Ang tingin niya sa sarili niya, inosente siya. Kasi ginagawa lang naman daw niya yung trabaho niya. Ganon. So, sabi ni Hannah Arendt, in the end, imagine that kind of evil, diba? That kind of evil, and yet he thought he was just doing his job, diba? So, in the end, ang conclusion ni Hannah Arendt, you know what evil is? Evil is stupidity. Because you don't know how to think creatively, politically, that you would say, like these policemen are saying, I'm just doing my job.
I'm just following orders.
Diba? So, hindi. Isipin mo kung anong ginagawa mo. In other words, you have your own personal sovereignty. Pwede kang tumayo dyan at mag-desisyon at sasabihin mo, hindi ko to gagawin. Aalis ako dito. I will not do. And in fact, there are others na ayaw nila. At umayaw sila. Kita natin, binabatuta sila, di ba? So there is a lot of heroism in the PNP. We're just not privy to it right now. But I can tell you, no, that there are plenty of them. Nung naglalakad kasi ako, nakakatawa sila. Kasi talagang ayaw nila si Torre. They do not respect him at all as a leader. How could you? How could you expect someone like that na mali ang orders? Tsaka ang training nila talaga mag-protect ng tao, pero pinapagawa ka ng ganyan. So, sinasabi natin sa kanila, hindi kayo lusot dyan. Pag sinasabi ninyo na ginagawa lang namin yung trabaho namin, di ba?
Hindi walang lusot yan sila, no. And if I may add, no, Doc Noreen, it's a conscious decision on the part of the Marcos administration to really handpick these kinds of people, no, na medyo mahina ang kanilang level of reason and level of thinking, kasi madaling ang hawakan sa leeg, no. So I mean, who is Marbil and who is Torre, no? In the hierarchy of the PNP, no, they're not supposed to be. I mean, PRO 11 used to be the most admired unit of the Philippine National Police in their success rate, no, in dealing with the communist insurgency, and you are probably witness to that when you were still with government. And now, ewan ko, siguro yung mga previous commanding officers dyan at mga previous officers dyan, now probably it pains them to see na yung regional unit nila ay talagang pinapahiya to the whole world, because it's not just to the whole world.
Actually, mo yung sinabi mo, katrabaho ko talaga yung mga Pro 11 noon. Ang gagaling, sobrang galing. Tsaka talagang kung yung kasi sinabi mo, sila talaga yung malaking factor kung ba't napadapa ang CPP-NPA dyan. Biro mo hotbed ng insurgency yan. At magagawa mo lang yan kapag kayo nagsilbi ng maayos, no? Itong mga pulis natin dyan sa Pro 11, bago dumating yung Torre na yan, na bago niya winahasak yan, talagang sila yung pumupunta sa bundok, and then meron silang quick response team. They make yung mga small projects, yung maliit na schoolhouse, tapos yung water source, farm to market roads na mano-mano, ganyan. So para maramdaman ng taong bayan yung mga pulis, tapos nagbalik loob sila sa gobyerno kasi they finally felt, this is experienced government, diba? So, and that was it, no? So this one really pains them. I know them. General Fillmore Escobar. I told Torre, this is what General Fillmore Escobar told me to tell you. Nakakahiya ka. At dami mong sinisira dyan. Sinisira mo ang institusyon na pinaghirapan na napakaraming police, no? Men and women who sacrifice their lives. At saka nakikita namin talaga hiyang-hiya sila. Hiyang-hiya talaga sila. Hindi ko lang alam yung syempre merong iba dyan, no? Katulad ng sinabi mo nga, ito sila Bongbong Marcos, namili talaga sila ng mga katulad nila, no, na mahina rin ang mga utak, masumusunod din, walang prinsipyo. Because I can tell you, I have personal knowledge. Never mind, I won't tell you. Okay, not personal knowledge, but I have a source, one source who told me the story of certain policemen, police generals who were bribed by Martin Romualdez. Let's ask him, Mr. Speaker, is this true? Is this true that you bribe certain police generals in your house in Forbes Park to lie about the former president, yung mga EJK, with the promise that if you do, you'll make them chief PNP? And there were generals who said no. They turned away and left. See, so there's like that. There's like that. Heroism exists.
Ano na mga kababayan? Hello, mga kababayan. Nandiyan po ba kayo? Magpalakpakan naman po tayo dyan. Eto na. Magla-live tayo. Preparation na. Ayan na nga po yung mga tulonggis na mga tulisan na pulis. Alam nyo ba yung bagong balita? Si Boss Dada daw. May tama. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung tama na yun. Hindi, sabi niya, may tama daw eh. Hindi ko alam. Mamaya, pag-usapan natin yan. Susubukan natin interviewin si Boss Dada at saka si Coach Oli, ha? Mamaya din, babasa-basahin din natin yung mga komento ninyo. Tinirgas sa liig si Boss Dada. Hindi umabot sa ulo, sa leeg lang. Natirgas din siya, napepre. Dapat kasi, binuraan na lang niya. Natirgas po si Boss Dada. Kawawa naman. Ma'am, Nanay Morning Dew, Nanay Morning Dew. Yung anak mo talaga, Hindi, kausap nga natin sila eh. Naghahanda na nga dapat tayong papunta doon. Kaya lang, ang sabi, cancel daw ang mga flights. Talaga nga naman. Tapos meron nag-message sa akin. Sabi sa akin, kailangan daw niya ng pamasahe papunta ng Davao. Mga 50 daw sila ng mga rider. Pagpasensya nyo na ha. Mahirap po kasi mabudol tayo ngayon. Kaya syempre, hindi tayo sigurado kung totoo kayo. Pero kung totoo kayo, sagot ko talaga yung gasolina nyo. Maganda siguro, punta muna kayo doon. Pagdating doon, hanapin nyo si Boss Dada. Daladala nyo yung resibo ng inyong pinagas. Tapos sasagutin ko kayo. Promise yan. Walang biro. Basta ipakita lang ninyo yung date na August 26. Tapos kung ilan bilang ng rider nakasulat doon sa ORCR yan. ORCR. Official receipt. 50 riders. Tapos pang gasolina. Ito yung amount ng gasolina. Wala. Promise ko sa inyo yan. Reimburse nyo sa akin. Kaya kasi siyempre, mahirap naman yung mabudol tayo ngayon, di ba? Alam mo naman ngayon, limited ang ating resources. So, mas maganda siguro, siguraduhin lang po muna natin na sigurado bagang meron talagang ganong nagaganap po. Si Gracie, ayan daw, pambili ng gasolina. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thought's last of human, ano to? Ay, freedom to choose one attitude in easy given set of circumstances to choose its own way. Yan. Ibig sabihin, maraming salamat sa inyo. Hindi, yun daw ibig sabihin nun. Ikaw, tawa ka ng tawa sa effect mo. Anong gusto mo? Umiyak ako. O, ito na lang. Pwede na yan. Hindi naman pwedeng ganon. Tumatawa lang naman. Masama bang tumawa? Napaka-sensitive nyo naman. Tumuto. Wag na nga ako mag-live. Wag na mag-live. Bye-bye. Yung iba dyan, masyadong nagtawa lang, nagagalit na kaagad. Akala mo naman, masyado kayong tumatawa lang Pakita ka na, sir. Unya-unya, ha? Gutom na mga pulis. Oo nga Mamaya magpapakita ko. Promise, walang biro. Kaya lang kasi ngayon, meron lang akong inaayos kulang pa po ako sa ligo. Maliligo-ligo lang ako ng kaperaso. Boss Randel, hindi, nag-meeting kami kanina ni Jay Guevara. Inaantay lang namin, sinisigurado lang namin na pag pumunta kami doon, may silbi kami. Siyempre, pupunta ba naman kami doon wala kaming silbi? Di ba? Ang bihira naman kayo. Di ba? Kailangan pumunta tayo doon may silbi kasi sabi may magaganap daw dito sa sa Malacanang, di ba? May magaganap daw. So, ang nga namin, yung tatlo doon sa Davao, kaming dalawa ni Jay ang pupunta dito para mag-cover. Di ba? Ganun yun Kayo naman, makaano naman kayo? Hindi totoo. Nag-aantay lang kami ng abiso sa aming mga boss kung saan ba kami mas magiging effective doon sa Davao. Kasi may balita kami, yung mga bumababa daw ng Davao, hindi na makapasok. Hindi na daw makapasok. So, ibig sabihin, baka mamaya ma-stuck lang kami doon, wala kaming silbi. Tama, mali. Kailangan sa mga ganitong panahon, matatalino tayo. Kaya nga tayo merong social media, di ba? Social media, yung mga sosyal. Kailangan maging matalino tayo. Mahirap mamaya pumunta tayo doon, di rin tayo makapag-live. Hindi rin tayo. At saka magiging redundant lang din. Mas mabuti pa dito na lang abangan namin, di ba? Mas mabuti. At least dito, kung may mangyari man sa kanila, sana naman wala. Grabe ka naman, Banat Bay, may mangyari. Hindi, di ba? Hindi natin alam Alam mo naman to si Torre, mukhang mukhang nabuang na Feeling ko kasi si Torre, pahiyang-pahiya na siya. Di ba? Pahiyang-pahiya na siya sa amo niya. Wala siya mahuli, kaya nagtanim-tanim na lang sila doon. Kaya tuloy, kailangan kailangan maging mautak tayo. Di ba? Alamin natin. Siyempre, tayo naman mag-aantay laang sa kumpas ng ating ng SMNI bilang anchor ng SMNI. Saan ba kami magiging mas may gamit? Di ba? Yun ang importante doon kaysa naman dito na wala tayong gamit, di ba? Yantayin natin, easy lang. Si Boss Dada, pakalmahin mo. Kasi kayo, pinapakain ninyo ng mga taba yan Kaya tuloy nagaganyan na si Boss Dada. Di ka pwede doon, Banat Bay, kasi may asthma ka. Yan din, kinukonsider ko din. Kasi siyempre, alam naman pumunta tayo doon, ma-sprayan lang tayo ng kaperaso, hinika na tayo. Natigok na tayo, di wala tayong silbi. Di ba? Kaya, mahirap kasi, alam mo, kailangan natin yung discarding tama. Ika nga kailangan maging matalino tayo. Ano ba, malay nyo, merong mangyari dito. Mamaya-maya, bukas. Di ba? Ako, nag-aantay lang ako na merong abiso at tingnan natin kung ano mangyayari. Ha? Okay. Sandali lang ha. Sandali lang. Okay, sandali. Munya. Ito muna.
The ones in power, we can do whatever we want with you. And if the Filipino people don't stand up to this, then everybody's in danger.
Pero Doc, I have to go back to your information kanina na you shared na parang naguluhan yung Malacanang ngayon because what happening now is in KOJC, they thought na isang small thing lang at it, blew out of proportion into their faces now. What do you think is their next move now?
Them?
Yes.
They'll wait for what America says. They'll do whatever America tells them to do. So what America will tell them to do is to forge on.
Right.
This is what America has done. America has destroyed entire countries.
Exactly.
Irreversibly. Diba? Irreversibly. So, Bongbong Marcos will do as the Americans will tell him to do. He's a slave of America. Hindi siya president. Hindi siya president ng naaalagaan at aarugain ang ating bansa. Wala siyang kakayahan ng ganon. What do you think, Billy? What do you think?
Well, ako naman, I think, yun na nga, no? They will consult the American playbook and if paranoia again will induce some sort of misjudgment on their part, no? Baka meron na namang isang violent reaction galing sa kanila na irrational decision. Kasi yun na nga depende sa amats kasi nito yung yung mga desisyon nila. Kaya kung titingnan mo yung mga decisions that they've been made, especially in foreign policy and even domestic policy, depende nga sa amats depende sa tama, no? Kung gaano sila ka-high. And what if yung Black Monday protest tomorrow will gather some steam and then you have the promise of the KOJC, which is 8 million strong worldwide to march to Malacanang, and then you have this call kanina by retired Scout Ranger Captain Dado, no? That they are mobilizing their groups as well. We have the Muslim friends, no, that are professing their loyalty and would probably kanina nga meron na nga mga Muslim doon sa KOJC. So, halimbawa, pagka sa tingin ko, it will gain traction at in every one of those places may mangyayaring pagtitipon. Do you think they will, use the same strategy that they've been using kanina nga nung na-witness natin sa KOJC, which is, to me, is very violent nga?
Yeah. Grabe. Tsaka alam mo ba, Elmer, what happened, no? Ikikwento ko sa inyo yung, andun kasi ako nung lumusog. Mga 3:34 siguro yon, madilim pa. At andun kami sa 3rd floor. So makikita mo talaga yung na malapit sa street. So makikita mo yung pagdating nila, no? Nakakatakot kasi makikita mo nakakakilabot.
Right.
Ito pa ba yung Pilipinas ko? Police na fully armed, na may mga truncheons, and then they were lulusob sila, and then the kingdom, the members of the KOJC, they were praying and singing songs of praise, like like lamb led to slaughter.
Right.
And if kung kilala mo sila, no, you know what? I don't think I'll ever be a member of any religious organization. Never been there, done that, never again. I was born and raised a Catholic, and I couldn't get far enough and fast enough away from it. No, so really,
the same as me, Doc. I have to admit, I have to admit, I'm an agnostic atheist. So
yeah, so appear, diba? And yet, and yet, I have never experienced such goodness. They're such good people, and they're almost so innocent. They're so innocent that maybe there's a part of me kasi that's innocente also that I really believe certain things. I really believe that we can change our country. I really believe that we can redefine press freedom. Yun yung mga nila tagline nila, no? And I really believe in rebuilding our country. I really believe that we could get rid of the CPP, NPA, NDF, etc. They're such good people and so innocent and so idealistic, and they were raised by Pastor to believe in excellence, no? So hindi wala silang yung pwede na, di ba?
Yeah, wala talaga silang no? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Doc Lorraine, Salamat.
Ay.
Si MJ na po ito, tsaka si Almar, nag-ano muna kami, nag-sub muna kami dahil
Oy!
para ano. Kami muna ngayon ang taya. Doc,
Oy!
Happy National Heroes Day, 12:33 na po ng umaga.
Ay, alas 12 na pala. Hi, MJ!
Hindi natin kakalimutan na yung tatay ng ano ngayon, nakaupo, ay ipinalibing ng disente sa libingan ng mga bayani. At
Yun.
ang mga kababayan natin talagang they really notice the ingrate, yung pagiging ingrato ng pamilya Marcos Jr. What do you say about that, Doc Lorraine?
Tuloy mo na.
Maaari bang mauna, no? Yung tungkol kay Ferdinand Marcos Sr., para sa akin, hindi siya bayani. No? Before umupo si PRRD, fiercely anti-Marcos ako. No? At nung umupo siya, parang he made me reconsider. Parang I reconsidered. But now that this has happened, it's very good that this is happening because then our children can see, no? Can see and experience for themselves what the Marcos dictatorship is, because now the son is exactly like his father. Even worse. Even worse. So much worse. So much worse. I mean, like, man, like talagang matalino si Marcos, etc. Diba? But even then, Marcos Sr. was a plunderer. He was power hungry. He was so corrupt. He was so corrupt. Even the wife, no, exactly the same thing. And this is what's happening na naman. So, parang sa akin, maganda na nauulit ito. Yung si PRRD naman kasi, kaya niya pinalibing yan, kasi yun sa batas yan. He's a man of the law, etc., etc. So, yung punto ko lang naman dito is, binibigyan tayo ng pangalawang pagkakataon na matutunan dapat yung dapat nating tutunan. Hindi tayo aandar bilang isang bansa kung hindi natin natututunan yung dapat nating natututunan at hindi natin nahihilom yung dapat natin ihilom, no? So itong si Bongbong Marcos, as horrible as he is, no, as his presidency is, no, it's a freak show, really, no, as horrible and freaky as it is, because it's gifts and we have to find those gifts.
Sir Elmer?
Yeah.
Shout out to all.
Well, yes, ako naman eh.
Hello. Nandiyan pa ba kayo? Mamaya magla-live kami ni Jay Guevara. Iimbitahan ko siya dito at magkikwentuhan kami. Hoy Jay. Mag-live tayong dalawa. Mambihira ka dyan, tulog ka ng tulog. Tulog ng tulog. Nagagalit yung iba. Tumatawa-tawa pa dito. Garski, Black Mamba, maraming salamat. Si Jay Guevara, tutulog-tulog pambihirang buhay. Jay, gising na hoy. Yun na. Dali.
To sacrifice his political capital and cross party lines just to bury the stigma and the pain of the Marcos years, para mawala na yung Marcos discussion at the whole country can move on in unison, whether you're a Marcos loyalist, you're a yellow fanatic, or just at the center. So yan na nga, no? Pero yun na nga, ang nangyari ngayon, history is repeating itself. Whereas Marcos Sr. was destroyed by his wife and his first cousin Cocoy Romualdez, Marcos Jr. is also being destroyed by his wife Lisa Araneta Marcos and his first cousin Martin Romualdez Marcos, the son of former the son of Cocoy Romualdez.
Yeah.
Talagang gising na gising talaga ang taong bayan ngayon, Sir Elmer at Ma'am Lorraine. Kasama din natin ang ating partner sa studio na si partner Almar Fusuero. Isa po siya sa mga SM9 reporter. Almar, mayong buntag.
Yes, mayong buntag MJ at mayong buntag kay Doc Lorraine at kay Sir EB. Sir, kumustahin ko lang dyan sa Cebu kasi marami nang nananawagan na yun nga, people power na. Kumusta dyan sa Cebu, sir?
Yes, magandang umaga, no, Admar. And ayun na nga, no, I'm in constant communication with our group here in Cebu as well. I don't know, probably tomorrow we'll be having a meeting, no, Siguro meron din kaming mga parallel actions, no, dito sa Cebu. We've spoken about it, we've talked about it, and the organizers are mobilizing in their own small way. Hopefully I could post some updates tomorrow after our meeting.
Pero paano yun, sir? Kasi ang isa sa mga challenges dyan, kasi dapat, like for example, dito sa Davao City, nagbigay ng kumbaga special permit ang si Mayor Baste. Pero dyan sa Cebu kasi, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, suspended pa si Mayor Rama. So paano po yun kapag meron tayong gagawin na kahalintulad po dito sa ginawa dito sa KOJC, sir?
Well, the most obvious strategy would be to hold it in a private location. Kasi you don't need a permit from the government. You only need a permit from the owner of the property and just show it to the government official concerned na merong magaganap na pagtitipon nga. But I'm sure it's not going to be that big. Maybe we will do a press conference. No, I think it would be better for us to do like a press con or forum like, no, and broadcast it to mainstream media or social media, and invite probably some local media, mainstream media reporters, no, and some bloggers from Cebu as well, no. I think it would be the most effective way of communicating talaga in articulating what's happening now, no, kaysa sa pupunta at lalabas doon sa kalsada at you know, magkalabo-labo na. I think we have to plan our messaging before we go out to the streets.
Doc Lorraine, any final na advice sa ating mga kababayan before you, para muna, dahil talaga, magalauna na ng madaling araw. Doc Lorraine?
Hindi ko alam bakit punong-puno ako ng pag-asa ngayon, kahit na malungkot yung nangyayari. At kasi tingin ko kasi MJ, Elmer, tsaka mga kababayan, nakilala ko na kasi ang mga KOJC members, no? Kahit hindi ako member ng KOJC, nakita ko na meron talaga silang role na ipe-play at gaganapin sa ating kasaysayan, lalo na ngayon na ang nakaluklok sa pwesto ay the worst president that this country has ever had, a disaster. Tingnan nyo naman, nagkakalat siya ngayon. Sobrang nagkakalat siya, no? Hindi niya alam na ganito pala kalaki yung mangyayari. Ano pala akala niya? Ano pala akala mo, Bongbong Marcos? Papasukin ka lang dito at okay na may bit-bit ka na 3,000. Anong tingin mo, 'di ba? The worst president that this country has ever had. I know that it will get worse before it even gets better, no? And masasaktan marami sa KOJC. Ngayon nga nangyayari na yung pambababoy ng sagrado na lugar na kahit ako mismo na experience ko yung lugar na yan. Ano siya, paraiso siya. Napakaganda niya. Nagpapasalamat ako sa inyo na niyakap ninyo ako. No, na minahal ninyo ako, naramdaman ko yon at naramdaman ko yung respeto ninyo, yung suporta ninyo, napakabuti ninyo sa akin, sa kahit sa pamilya ko. No, at nalulungkot ako na nangyayari ito sa inyo. Pero nagpapasalamat ako sa inyo kasi kung iba yan, kawawa ang Pilipinas. You were really made for a time such as this. And Pastor was made for a time such as this. There will always be haters when you try to do all these amazing things that the kingdom as well as Pastor has been doing all these decades. No? But we're so grateful. We're so grateful for the sacrifices of the KOJC and that you are showing the Filipino people what it looks like when you fight and you love your country. And it is your shining hour. That's the paradox to all of this. It's the dark hour, but it's also your shining hour. And we're so thank you for taking us with you. No? You are not alone. You have an entire nation fighting for you and with you alongside. May marami lang maingay dyan na kung ano ng kachipan pinagsasabi, pero makikita nyo. So maraming salamat. You are equal to the task. Talagang ganda ng palaki ni Pastor sa inyo. At yung ehemplo ninyo kung paano maging isang siguro Kristiyano, kung paano maging isang tao, napakabuti, 'di ba? Hindi lang. Ngayon na-test kayo, no? Napakatapang na ninyo, marunong na kayong lumaban kasi pumasok na yung mga ahas sa paraiso ninyo. Nandiyan na si Satanas sa paraiso ninyo at sa paraiso natin, paraiso din natin ang Pilipinas, no? So, maraming salamat that you're standing your ground. You will be hurt, but we are going to be hurting with you at alam na natin kung anong gagawin natin, no? History repeats itself, no? Nagkamali si Marcos dito, hindi niya kilala ang Pilipino. So maraming salamat sa KOJC, kay Pastor, no? Pastor, siguro you're very proud of the KOJC members. And I hope you're also proud of all of us here, the way we're standing our ground and magkakasama tayo dito. Walang iwanan ito. Maraming salamat sa ating mga kaibigan, sa ating mga kababayan na nagtutulungan tayo dito para gawin natin ito para sa mga anak natin at sa mga apo natin at sa salinlaing Pilipino.
Maraming salamat, Doc Lorraine. Balik tayo kay Sir Elmer. Almar.
Sir, baka natanong ko lang kasi kung yun dun sa kanina, gagaano na po ba hinog yung mga kababayan natin dyan sa Cebu para sa ganitong, kasi syempre hindi natin to, kumbaga hindi, yung itong klaseng hakbang, hindi po ito basta-basta, sir, eh.
Tama, no? And even me, no? I'm asking myself as well, gaano na ba kahinog ang Cebuano populace for a mass action like this? Because for the longest time, we've been controlled by the ruling class, the Garcias, who have no loyalty except to themselves. And it's very hard to, they're like a leech, no, na talagang mahirap talagang tanggalin, no, from the psyche of the Cebuanos. And in fact, nag-post nga ako na as we speak, itong ang araw na to, merong activity dito sa Cebu province, tawag dyan is Pasigarbo sa Sugbo, where in fact 200 million pesos almost daw ang ginastos ng probinsya ng Cebu just for this event, no? Na talaga namang redundancy na because we already have a 40-year-old tradition which is the Sinulog Festival in January every year. So talagang, you know, we are still hoping that Cebuanos will rise up, no? Again, no, I'm not of liberty to disclose who among the Cebuano leaders I'm talking with and we'll be meeting tomorrow. But there are people moving, and slowly but surely we will take our cues from Davao, take our cues from people in Manila, meet halfway, and again, rest assured there will be some actions here. But it will not probably be a replica of what will happen in Davao and in the, we are your megaphones here, no? That I can be assured, that I can assure you, we will be your megaphones, we will be the amplifiers here in Cebu, because as far as Cebu is concerned, dalawa na lang kami or tatlo, it's June Abilis and me and Ms. Pam Baricuatro. So I don't know in the coming days what will happen. But rest assured, I will inform you guys.
Sa tingin niyo po ba, sir, kapag hindi gagalaw ang ating mga kababayan, hindi lang dito sa Davao City, dyan sa Cebu, sa pangkalahatan, kapag hindi po tayo gagalaw, may mas malala pa po bang mangyayari, magaganap? Hindi pa po natin napag-uusapan ito, yung corruption at yung other issues po.
Well, talaga naman, no? Kung walang gagawin ng Filipino people, just like the first Marcos administration, na walang ginawa yung Filipino people for like what, 24-5 years, anong nangyari doon sa Pilipinas, no? And in fact, one would argue na it even took them a long time when the trigger was pulled, no pun intended, when Ninoy Aquino was assassinated in August 21 of 1983, it took about 2.5 years for EDSA 1 to happen, for EDSA to happen in February of 86, no? So kung titingnan mo yung history ng Pilipinas and the history of our revolution, quote-unquote, which is, to me, is not a revolution, but was just a changing of the guards, no? So, talagang may mangyayari talagang masama if we continue to be complacent, if we continue to be, mere spectators of what this government is doing, both in domestic and in foreign policies.
Balikan ko lang sir yung dito sa ating mga pulis kasi ito natanong ko na rin to kay Ma'am Joey kahapon kasi nga nung last administration kumbaga 6 years na hinubog at inayos ni former President Duterte yung kapulisan, tinaasan yung sahod, tumaas yung moral, pero ngayon sa pinaggagawa nitong si Torre tsaka nitong si Marbil at may kumpas dito sa DILG, parang bumalik yung galit at wala nang tiwala ulit yung mga tao sa ating kapulisan, sir. Your thoughts on this, sir?
Tama, no, Almar, no, and MJ, no? Yung pinaghirapan ni PRRD for 6 years na itinayo niya yung bandila ng pagiging pulis ng Pilipinas at binalik ni Pangulong Duterte nga yung respeto ng mga Pilipino doon sa kanilang hanay, no, sa kapulisan ay in less than 2 years Marcos Jr. Dinuraan at niyurakan at talagang he dismantled it, destroyed it in such a way na is unforgivable, and I think it really pains now PRRD seeing the police that he so loved until now being drawn into this madness, no, this insanity that's been going on.
Sir Elmer, direta sa bagong ginapugos nila ba kaning Chikibam? What do you think? Pangalan pala nakakatawa na Chikibam. Shell Jokno, Kiko Pangilinan, Bamakino, at saka yung teacher nila si Untevirus.
See you next year.
Gaagnaw, no? Grabe ba? Saan kaya sila humuhugot ng kakapalan ng muka? Cebu pa talaga inuna,
Well, they were never entertained in Cebu, no? In all honesty, MJ, no? I have to admit, etong Cebu kasi traditionally yellow talaga to, no? Talagang for the longest time, we were the opposition country against the Marcoses during the Osmeña time. That's why liberal nga sila. That's why Tomas Osmeña is solidly liberal. And in fact, our sitting vice governor now, the son of the former Chief Justice Davide, is also a liberal party member, no? But again, he's already sleeping with the enemy. The enemy is Gwen Garcia, who is now fast becoming the enemy of Martin Romualdez. Talagang masaya yung politika dito sa Cebu, MJ, for the next election. Kasi yung mga kaalyado ni Marcos ngayon, Gwen Garcia, yung mga nag-aanohan na sila, yung mga buhaya dyan, talagang nagbakbakan na sila ngayon. And I don't know what's gonna happen. At I'm just, staying, looking from the outside, laughing out loud sa mga pangyayari. I will be posting such events, no, at such developments in the later days and the later weeks after I talk to some sources. Nakakatawa talaga.
Is it true na tatakbo si Gwen Garcia ng Cebu City Mayor? Yun naririnig namin
That was an idea floated about a month ago. No? Kasi babanggain niya si Mike Rama because the Garcias don't have a credible opponent sa probinsya. So yung kanyang kapatid na si Congressman PJ Garcia will be smooth sailing if he runs for governor. By that time, ma-break yung three-term ni Garcia, so that when she gets re-elected as governor in 2028, she will have a fresh mandate and probably nine-year term ahead of her. Yun ang sabi, no? Now it's different kasi yun na nga, meron ng mga internal disputes between the allies, no? I cannot disclose it yet, but nakakatuwa.
Considering na yung unit team na buo dyan sa Cebu noong 2021, 2021, nung magkaroon nga ng...
Well, yes.
Di ba? Dyan nabuo, di ba?
Dito nabuo, no? And in fact, I'm privy to the events leading to that team up, no? And there was no Lisa Araneta, there was no Martin Romualdez, there was no national politician involved in that. There was just a very few people close to Inday and close to BBM, about 4 or 5 of them, when they reached the unit team tandem.
Ano bang nangyari doon, Sir Elmer? Kung meron kang mai-share sa amin, paano ba nagkaroon ng na-open up yung usapan na dito ka na lang sa amin, mag-VP ka na lang muna and lahat ng request mo ibibigay namin?
Well, number one, actually, Inday Sara never really did want to run for VP. Ayaw talaga niya, no? Yun ang sabi, no? Ayaw. Sinabi na rin this I can say, kasi Inday Sara admitted it already, no? During the press con. Or ano ba yung in-interview nga siya, no? Or probably, yeah, parang press con nata yun after the OVP budget hearing, no? Talagang she never really wanted to run for VP. All she wanted was 3 terms as Davao City Mayor. Okay? Pero yun na nga, no? Ito na nga si Bongbong at si Aimee, sinusuyo talaga siya, and then eventually she gave in, probably because, she also had some issues with PRRD that time. Alam naman natin yan na meron talaga silang kunting sigalot noon, and Inday being Inday probably thought it best na magtakbo na lang siyang VP and support Marcos. But in retrospect daw, sabi niya, no, hindi siya nag-regret. She never had any regrets knowing what she knows now and seeing what they are doing to her or what they did to her now. No? Never, wala siyang regret maski isa. Because daw, sabi niya, even if she was mayor of Davao at hindi siya nagtakbo ng vice president, hahabulin talaga daw siya nitong mga Marcos na ito at Romualdez. Kasi nga, they always perceived her, Inday Sara, as a threat in 2028. So, yun. That's the long and short of it.
At yun nga, ito na yung nangyari ngayong...
ngayon, here we are.
And the rest is history. Pero,
yes.
Tsaka nakakaano lang, Sir Elmer, diyan ba sa Cebu, nagkaroon na dyan ng mga show, pamimigay ng ayuda?
Wala pa. Yun nga inaabangan ko, yung bagong Pilipinas Servicio Fair.
Servicio Caravan.
There was one that was held in Batangas, I think, na may pa-concert doon na sino ba yung daming mga singers doon. I think it was Saturday night, no? I don't know. Para sa tingin ko, with what's happening in Cebu, sa tingin ko, hindi pa muna. Kasi Martin Romualdez will probably ensure kung sino yung he can trust. Because this I can say, Martin Romualdez now doesn't trust Gwen Garcia. This I can say.
Bakit ano pala ang ngayon, leaning ngayon ni Governor Gwen?
Well, she used, di ba sinabi ko yan sa interview niyo na sa akin, siguro a month ago ba yun, that was sometime in July or June, na there was a brewing alliance na when Gwen Garcia resigned and every other politician in Cebu resigned from PDP Laban, na may brewing alliance na between One Cebu Party, Gwen Garcia's party, Partido Federal, Martins Lakas CMD, and the NPC and the NP, no, Nationalist Party of Villar, no. Apparently, parang ma-dissolve ata yung alliance na yan, no. But then again, I have to go back to my sources. That really dig deep what's really is happening.
Is it true na based on what you know, Sir Elmer, na nag-break na ng ties si VP Sara at ang si Secretary Frasco.
I'm sorry?
Si Secretary, di ba, nung nakaraang mga campaign, spokes niya si Ma'am Cristina Garcia Frasco, di ba?
Yes.
Remember, yan. May mga umuugong kasi na they've broken their ties, their friends. Do you hear the same?
Well, as far as I've heard, VP Sara and Gwen Garcia no longer see eye to eye. I can say that. But between VP Sara and Cristina, there's no bad blood between them now, no, quote unquote. But they haven't talked to each other since. Yun lang.
At tsaka makikita mo yung detached nung administration na to. I'm sure you've heard of the term na yung Latin phrase na panem et circenses, yung breads and circuses, yung ginagawa nilang ayuda at pa-consort, di ba? Ang mga Pilipino parang nababasa din nila na ginagawa tayong chip ng administrasyon.
Well, yes, no, and I think some Filipinos are smart enough na pera naman din nila yan. So punta na lang sila doon, tanggapin na lang nila. And I think they're smart enough to that when election comes, they know who to vote, no? But in terms of local politics, talagang subservient talaga yung mga botante dyan sa mga local politicians na mas maraming nabibigay sa kanila. But on the national level, I think talagang yung boto nila for siguro principle and yung mga policy stance ng mga kandidato.